evening, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Drop Zone. Slightly earlier time tonight, but still the same gorgeous faces. So let me start by introducing everyone. Tony, welcome to the show, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thank you.
Excellent. Tariq, welcome back, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Looking forward to an hour of this today.
Excellent. And George, I know you was just on a watch along and you're back again. Double duties like Braun Breaker.
I kind of got frightened. So I'm going to give you a bit of a background. So while I was doing the whole watch along, there was a fly buzzing around my room.
Right.
So it looked like I was like being really special needs, like flicking my arm around. So if you think I've just lost all mentality, it's just there's a fly buzzing right by my ear. So, but yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Excellent, indeed. And Adam, welcome back, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me as always. Hope you're doing well.
I am indeed. And Craig, welcome to the show as well, mate. Thank you for coming on again.
Cheers, mate. Always a pleasure.
Excellent. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Friday Night SmackDown, it was the premiere on the USA Network. And obviously new logos, new entrance music as well. Thoughts on the entrance theme? It's not particularly rocky, is it? Who likes it?
I like it.
No, I don't like it.
I think it's all right. It's not too bad.
I wonder if they'll use it like for the shows, because normally we get it once and then we'll probably never see it again. But interesting. Yeah, the logo looked pretty cool as well. There was rumours of the fist was returning, but we didn't see any of that. Never know, in the near to future we might get something like that back. But the first match, Craig, I'll go to you straight away. It was the steel cage match for the undisputed title. I think we spoke about it last week, didn't we? It went the way we all thought it would. Cody Rhodes retaining, Bloodline getting involved at the end, and Roman coming down to save the day. What did you make of the whole match, mate, and the whole Roman business as well?
I thought the match was all right. Not the best steel cage match I think we've seen, but you know, it was good for what it was. We all knew the outcome. We all knew, you know, he was going to retain. I think we all knew as well to some extent that we would get Roman. I think a lot of people maybe thought some other people as well. I like the Roman bit. I mean, they are proper teasing him and Jacob, like building this up, you know. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I thought it got more entertaining when Roman come out. Yeah, because I think we knew what was coming anyway. But yeah, it was a decent way to kick off the night. But definitely more enjoyable once Roman come out, and that energy, that aura he has about him, the crowd just, you know, going mental. Definitely made it better.
And Adam, I'll just come to you, mate, with the whole Roman Reigns stuff. Do you feel like him dropping that title at WrestleMania now and him returning in the way he has done, and the storyline against the Bloodline has made his character, it's kind of overtaken Cody Rhodes, hasn't it? Like, you would feel Cody Rhodes would still be the main guy getting the biggest cheers, but it seems like it's Roman now.
Yes, he has overtaken Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes is and was already behind Rhea Ripley, the other rest of the Bloodline, at Judgment Day, probably LA Knight. You know, Cody Rhodes is nowhere near the top babyface at the moment for whatever reason, partly on him, partly on them, partly on circumstance. It's not a criticism of him, it's just an observation of the situation as it is. Yeah, and the crowd obviously make that decision as well, and there's several people that I've picked above him at the moment. Sami Zayn probably is another one to add in there. Gunther's probably another one, like another top babyface, but more of a face of the company. Randy Orton's a bigger babyface than Cody at the moment, I would say. So, yeah. I'm not digging at Cody here. I'm just observing the situation as it is. You know, there's several reasons for that. I don't think Cody's particularly done anything wrong in the 6-month reign that he's had. You could make an argument that he hasn't maximised his exposure. You could make an argument that his matches haven't stolen the show so far. Maybe there's more he could have done. Maybe there's a bit more of a push he could have gone. He could have gone up to 11 when he hasn't. But that is what it is. But yeah, you know, the situation is what it is. Roman's piping hot. You know, he's been piping hot heel for a few years. Been piping hot babyface for the next 12 months, I should say. And that's the situation. And the shows are entertaining. It is what it is at the moment.
Yeah, no, full play. It's it's good, isn't it? It's good a product at the moment. It's thoroughly enjoyable. It's not boring. And that's what we wanted. You know, we spoke about it many a times during WrestleMania and stuff like that. That it's unpredictable at the moment, and that's what you want. Even if some of the title matches are predictable, the rest of it is not. Tony, we then went into our first match of the evening. We had Kevin Owens and Ricky, that famous Hall of Famer Ricky, versus A-Town Down Under. But obviously, we got the news that Randy Orton had caught his flight and made his way to the arena. What did you make of the match, mate, and the whole comedy factor around Ricky? I mean, it was quite entertaining. It was quite funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they stuck a bit of comedy in there because I think the first match was quite serious. Stuck a bit of comedy in there just to make everyone chuckle. No one had a clue who he was. I don't think anyone did. Is he actually an independent wrestler or?
I don't even know. Does anybody know who he is or where he's from?
No, and I'm very proud of that fact.
No.
I mean, I guess he's a local town hero. So
that of EastEnders. I thought Ricky Butcher told
Rick, hi.
I think the match was a good match, like you said. The comedy in there was good. Anything. The thing is, A-Town Down Under, they're teasing it, and I think when Austin Theory and Waller like disperse and just break up, I can see Austin Theory being a big star.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he's got it about him, and I just think that they need to do that soon, and then just literally, it was good.
Cool. Just say a couple of hellos. Mr. Tom's in the chat. He's saying hello, legends and 90. He's not included in that bracket, unfortunately. He's
Wow.
That's very, very strong words there, Mr. Tom. We thank you for that. No, we don't. I'm going to go to you next, Tariq, on the next sort of segment. We had Nia Jax come down, and then we found out Bayley wants a rematch, but it's turned into some sort of tag team match now, isn't it? And a loser between Naomi, Bayley, Nia Jax, and it's Tiffany, isn't it? One of them will be leaving. It's very strange, like that, to come out and Nia Jax is making decisions like that. Who leaves SmackDown? What did you make of that, mate?
I thought it was a bit weird because you think who's going to leave SmackDown, because Bayley and Naomi aren't going to leave because Raw will get too big with the women in there. So I think it was one where they sort of set up that they're going to beat maybe Tiffany or something like that. But Nia might get away with it, but we're not sure. It's a bit weird the way they sort of explained it. She gets to choose.
I still don't. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, mate. I just still don't totally understand it. Like, who's leaving? Like, is it the Nia Jax and Tiffany? Will one of them leave as well? I still don't get it.
No, it's not. It's the baby faces that they leave, and then if whoever pins from Bayley and Naomi, whoever pins the other team members, they're the ones who get the title shot. So trying to cause the old friction between Naomi and Bayley, sort of like pulling each other off the pin. So I can see it sort of going triple threat way. It'll be shenanigans and whatnot, and they'll say both of them against her. Not Bad Blood or whatever, or maybe even SmackDown.
George, I'll come to you. I know you said to me earlier, like, you ain't seen much of SmackDown. Have you seen that part of the show?
I didn't see any of it, mate. But
did you read any of the show?
Yeah, I did listen to it. I just wanted to get that in. I had to go over a whole hour because Mel said I couldn't make any blind jokes on the watch-along, so I was going. I listened because I know Craig could pick up if I said watched. With the Naomi stuff, I agree with Tariq. I just think it's going to turn into a triple threat. I was quite confused with the whole setup, so I'm glad you've all explained what actually is happening. I just find it weird, like you say, Jonesy, that Nia Jax has that power. Like, isn't that the job of the GM? But yeah, I thought it was all right. To be fair,
yeah. Be interesting to see what happens. I was speaking to someone else and they were just, if it was the other way around and the stipulation worked for both teams, could that have been a way for maybe Tiffany to get off the show and get onto Raw, maybe with the briefcase? Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, literally it's it's a strange stipulation. We'll see what happens with that. Just a couple more good evenings to G. He's in the chat. Mr. Tom, as usual, with his Isla Dawn fascination. She's vanished off the face of the air. They have indeed. We'll get onto the tag teams, I think, a little bit later. Craig, we then went into Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes for the 99th. No, was it the fifth match in their series?
Fifth, wasn't it?
The fifth, I think. Well, 3-2. It's ended now, is it?
It's two. It was 2-2. Yeah, so that was the fifth. Yeah.
Yeah. So then LA Knight has now come out and they're obviously going to have a match. It looks like a Bad Blood. Do you feel there's a way of Carmelo Hayes still getting involved in that match, or do you think it will just be a one-on-one?
I personally think it will just be a one-on-one. I think Carmelo Hayes will get an opportunity at some point. For whatever reason, they've just decided to give Andrade that push for now instead of Carmelo. But like Mr. Tom said, their matches have been pretty decent, let's be honest. It's one of those series where if it had gone too much, you would have just been like, oh my god, this is boring. But the fact that it was tied at 2-2, they've had that final one, it appears. I think Andrade is the right choice for now. But I still think Carmelo Hayes is going to be there at some point. I don't think he kind of not weasels his way in, but I don't think he gets in for a triple threat at Bad Blood. I think it will purely just be one-on-one. But down the line, I think he'll be possibly the next contender
for the US title.
Yeah, 100%.
This will go to 7 matches eventually, I suspect. Could be another Drew and CM Punk road we're going down. We then had Roman Reigns come out to the ring, and it was the first time he's spoken since he has come back, I believe. First time he's been on the mic in the ring. He looked lost without Heyman, if you ask me. And that's no disrespect on his mic work. His mic works a hell of a lot better than it was. But, you know, the presence of Heyman there just makes it a lot better. He still sent his WWE. Cody Rhodes didn't like that. And eventually we got the contract and stuff like that. Adam, I'll go to you. I'll go around to everyone actually on this point anyway, but I'll start with you, Adam. What did you make of the whole will he, won't he sign? Do you feel at any point that there wasn't going to be signatures on it from either Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns?
No, I think it was always the way it was going to go, but that's okay as a storytelling device, whatever it is, you know, the bit of the twist, a bit of the turn, a bit of doubt, rather than him just sort of saying, yeah, okay, when Adam Pearce said it earlier in the night. I think it was a good segment, it was a good promo, as you kind of said, good my work by Roman. Having Cody come out there for a reason, you know, it didn't necessarily need to be smooth sailing. You know, that's okay by me. I think it was well worked, well written, well performed by the guys. I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yep, same. And Craig, I'll go to you next. Is it the tag team match something you're looking forward to? Obviously, I don't think it's going to be just a tag team match, is it? There'll be interference with every Uso under the sun, probably, or Fatu. But what are you? If we could fast forward time now, I'm just going to put you on the spot here, mate. Sorry. That match, how would you like that to play out with the terms of someone coming in, someone returning? Like literally, you could book it for the night. What would you do?
I think it gives the perfect opportunity to set up war games. I would potentially have both of the Usos, maybe. But then do they come straight out together, or is there some sort of recruitment? I mean, anything could happen between now and then. But my perfect book would be you get Jimmy and Jay. One comes out first, maybe they're being battered, whatever, and the other one thinks, right, I need to come out and help them. And it just sets the tone and starts getting everything in motion for war games. I'd probably have Roman, Cody come out victorious, I think. I don't think it makes Solo or Fatu look any weaker. It just strengthens Roman being back. But I would definitely... I don't think we need to see anyone from the bad line, like New or whatever. I think it's more about who we're going to see forming part of this bloodline, this new reform, because people are saying it could be Cody who joins them. People are saying it could be Sammy who joins them. Other people are saying that it could be a new member that we've not seen yet who joins the new formed bloodline. So I don't know any of the other Fatus or Usos or whatever to say I'd book them in, but I'd be happy if we got that sort of new, but not with a bad line. I think that's pretty much set. Because War Games is what, 4? Is it 4 on, or is it 5 on? Is it 5 on 5? Was last year's 5 on 5?
I think 5 on 5 War Games usually.
So you know, based off that, they could potentially get another member on the. So I would purely use Bad Blood to set up getting these people in, getting it all set up, ready for War Games.
Yeah. Good shout, to be fair. And Tariq, I'll go to you with this one. Mr. Tom actually put a good quote in here saying they need to keep Cody as far away from Reigns as possible. Do you feel this storyline could damage Cody more than it has done with this title run? I know he's done a job and he's kept the belt and done well, but it has been a dry title run. And that's no disrespect to Cody Rhodes as a performer. Is how he's been booked, but. He's also put there as well, just to follow up on that it could eventually turn Owens and Orton heel on Cody. Do you feel that could be the case?
With this Owens, well, I'm not sure about Orton, but Owens could turn on Cody because he'll be like, I've fought the bloodline for 2-3 years, and now within like one segment, you are friends with Roman Reigns. So it could be like that. And I think with Cody, like I said, his title run has been a bit, like you said, dry. And I think it's one where they want to just keep him in that main event storyline, because if he sort of like goes to the back burner, it'll all be bloodline. And he'll be like, Cody who? It'll be a bit like when CM Punk was champion all them years ago and it was Rock and Cena or someone else was main event. And you'd be like, who's the champ? You'd forget who the champion is at that time. So I can sort of see why they want to keep him relevant, because he's going to, when he goes to War Games and so on, it'll be like all to the bloodline, bad line, and Cody will be, even if he fought against Orton, it might not even be high on Survivor Series type thing. So I can see, I can definitely see it's something where maybe in the match, the Owens turn might happen. He could turn on him, then be that. But they said there'll be shenanigans, people coming in, Owen will come in, be angry, give him the pop-up powerbomb. And that could be an out for the result of the match, because you think in the match, who's going to get pinned? You can't have Roman pinned, or you can't have Jacob pinned.
Yeah.
You don't want Solo getting beat every week, so it could be one where they could have the heel turn, which could have the out for them.
Yeah, no, definitely good shout. Be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks exactly how this storyline develops. If they become a team, I feel we're going to have, the old Cody bumps into Roman and stuff like that, or maybe, that old will they, won't they sort of thing. So it'd be interesting to see. Or WWE might swerve us all and Reigns is, joining the bad line. You never know. You just never know. But that was just SmackDown, the new premiere on USA. We'll run around and grab reviews. I thought it was a pretty good show. I'm going to start off this week. I'll give it an 8, to be fair. Craig?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I think it was a pretty good 8, to be fair.
Adam?
Yeah, mate, that 3 8s. I thought it was a very enjoyable show. Obviously, they put a lot behind it being the premiere on USA. But yeah, nothing wrong with that. It kind of reminded me of the good old days when you'd have main events like that every week and promos like that every week. It'd be a staple of the weekly shows. So yeah, it's nice to see.
Cool. And just Mr. Tom's put a 2 out of 10 because of no unholy union. We kind of guessed that. And just before I go to George, just want to shout out as well. We had a few guests there. We have ringside. Vicky Guerrero was there. Who else? We have Rob Van Dam, Michael Hayes, who actually worked in the back. He probably just come out for a little bit, some fresh air. But yeah, they made the fact of showing a few celebrities, which was a nice touch as well. It's always good to see some legends. And George, what was your rating for SmackDown?
Go 8.
Cool. Tariq?
I'll join you guys. A solid 8.
Tony for the Full House?
Is he gonna?
8.5.
8, is it 8? There you go.
There we go. Consensus. I think that's got to be the first time, hasn't it?
That's the first time, yeah.
Might possibly be, yeah.
Wicked, and no 0.5s, which I like to see. And then we've got Mr. Tom here. It would be less than as if Ricky didn't save the show yet. Full play to Ricky.
At first, when I heard that, because I didn't actually see that segment,
Yeah.
so I was hearing loads of rumours that Ricky Stark was joining from a certain other place. So I thought, I wasn't sure if that's who it was, and then obviously I read it a bit more, and I was like, no, that's not Ricky Stark.
It turned out to be Ricky from catering, I think it was.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, we'll move on to Monday Night Raw. We started the show. CM Punk came down to ringside. Pretty no smiles promo, wasn't it, Craig? I'll go to you, mate. It was telling him that he's going to take Drew to hell. It was the darker side of Punk, I think we've been waiting to see since he's returned.
Yeah. It's all been sort of jokes and funny this and funny that. And this was like proper gritty, dark, I mean fucking business. I've had enough of you. Like, you know, I think we're going to see a hell of a match at Bad Blood. These two are just going to batter fuck out of each other for the best part of about half hour, 40 odd minutes. And I'm all for it, mate. I think, you know, they're both playing it brilliantly. The hatred, the fact that they hate each other, you know, like they genuinely want to fucking murder each other. So I just think, yeah, him coming out, doing that segment, no interruptions, just him telling everyone what he plans on doing. I thought it was a really, really good way to kick off the show and to get everyone hyped and thinking, oh my God, this match is going to be unbelievable.
No, definitely. And we found out that CM Punk doesn't have to close his doors as well when he gets out of the car.
That's it. I thought exactly the same thing. I think I'm going to shut the door, mate. Like,
yeah, don't close your doors, it's fine.
Yeah, engine running and everything.
Adam, we'll stay on that point at the moment. Who do you feel needs the win more at Bad Blood?
I don't feel either of them need it. I think they're both piping hot. You know, as I've been saying, there's so many people who are really over that sort of thing. If I was to say who would the more sensible option in terms of business, in terms of the show, in terms of the story and the narrative, I think I'd give it to Drew. You know, I think again, I'm not saying he needs it more, but he is certainly the younger, the more up and coming, the more full time as opposed to the part-time Punk. It's been an amazing, you know, program. It's been an amazing storyline. I know I said, you know, it's dragging on a bit, but I can probably admit being wrong on that. It's still pretty hot now, and I agree with Craig. The match is going to be amazing at Bad Blood. Really looking forward to it. It's pretty much guaranteed to steal the show. I can't, you know, if anyone outdoes it, then fair play to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was to choose, I would say the better option would be Drew McIntyre. But I don't think either of them need it. They've both elevated each other, which is perfect, exactly how it should work. And they're both piping hot. They're both over. So, yeah, all thumbs up, whatever happens.
Wicked. Just say good evening to Russ Morgan as well. He's in the chat. Good evening, Russ. And then we moved on to the battle for the shillelagh. It was Pete Dunne versus Sheamus. We had interference by a cricket bat. I'm just going to skip over a few segments here, guys, because there's not much to talk about really, potentially storyline-wise with the Pete Dunne and Sheamus. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere unless anybody's got any other thoughts or suggestions on it. It's just maybe a time filler, that match was. We then had a rare occurrence, actually, for Monday Night Raw. Natalya won another match against Zoe Stark. Tariq, I'll go to you because I know you love the women's wrestling side and stuff like that. Talk to me about Natalya, mate. Is this her last swan song, you think?
I hope so. It's like...
Don't hold back, mate. Don't hold back.
To be honest with her, it's like there's so many comebacks she can have, and she's not really that good anymore. It's just putting the sharpshooter, or in this match, it was pin attempt after pin attempt after pin attempt, and she tried to do a sharp roll up. It was like, what was the point of it? And having her there, it sort of defeats the point of having like Zoe Stark or someone who should be higher on the ladies sort of event thing. They're not giving her a chance. She's this comedy act who's getting pinned by just a schoolboy roll up or whatever. It's a bit silly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've never been a fan of Natalia, to be fair. And that's like I would say, there's no disrespect. It's just some superstars you like, some you don't. It's as simple as that. George, I'll come to you next. We then had Jay Uso. He come down to ring. I mean, there's been a lot of talk. I don't know if you guys have seen much on social media that Jay's rubbish on the mic, which I totally disagree with. But it felt like this promo was tailored to show a more of him, rather just yeet this, yeet that. It was more of a getting into Braun's face and hitting him with the cheap dig about the NFL. I think was quite a nice touch.
That was class.
What was your thoughts on that, George, with the whole Braun Breaker and Jey Uso segment?
I thought it was brilliant, mate. Anything Jey Uso does is brilliant anyway. But yeah, especially like you say with the NFL, in what he said. I've not really got. I've seen the stuff what you're on about online, where they're saying he's crap on the mic. I've not really seen that. So I don't know. Maybe they was watching Jey Uso like 11 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I like it how they're building it up between the two. It's just a shame that he's not going to win. I obviously want Jey Uso to win his first title. Singles title. I just don't think, because obviously cross-referencing to what we was talking about Roman, I think he's going to be involved in that. So, I quite liked it, to be fair. I know, was it the first time that Breaker got hit by a spear as well? Or
yep, was indeed.
Yeah. So I thought that kind of covered Jey in quite a good bit of light and shows a bit. There is a vulnerable side to Braun Breaker as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely was. It'd be interesting as well. I know Tariq will probably touch on NXT a bit later, but a certain superstar might have given away who's winning that Intercontinental title match, but we'll leave that to Tariq to run through in NXT. We then went on to the Judgment Day, their first title defense, actually. It's been a while since they defended those titles against Kofi Kingston, the New Day, and Xavier Woods. Beforehand, Xavier Woods didn't want no interference, any help from Rhea Ripley or Jey Uso or Damian Priest, but instead he got the Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio, and his LWO. And we saw at the end of the match, didn't we, Craig, that Xavier Woods was pretty angry with Kofi, and this is what we've seen coming. The 10-year anniversary is coming up. I think that's when it's going to happen. But I must admit, though, Woods looked really good in the ring in that match.
Yeah, he did. I think some people were deciding whether it was still going to happen or not, because obviously if him that shall not be named, obviously what happened there, they've just not mentioned anything. He's been completely taken off. A lot of people thought, they've got a tag team title match. Maybe this is where they've decided not to break him up. But it was brilliantly done. You know, the distraction, Kofi being outside the ring, it annoyed the hell out of him. Did he go a bit over the top with how angry he was? Maybe a little bit. But it still sort of sold it a little bit that he's annoyed and screaming, every time this happens. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not been every time, but, you know, fair play for the storyline and whatnot. I think they're definitely going to turn, you know, Xavier's going to just snap, I think. And that'll be the end of it. And then we should see, we'll probably end up seeing another series like Carmelo and Andrade with Xavier and Kofi, culminating in a tied 8-8 match at WrestleMania for, you know, the winner or whatever. But
for the right to the trumpet.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's definitely heading that way. They've planted the seed now. I think whether he goes alone or whether we see a certain Cross sneaking back in there saying, I told you so, this and that. Do we see him leave one group to go to another, or do we see him go on a bit of a solo run? Personally, I think if he goes on a solo run, I don't think he's that over. You know, it wouldn't be the same as Jey. I think personally it might be the same sort of caliber as Apollo Crews and Corbin at the minute. Like, I just don't think that they'd need to plant it a bit more.
Yeah.
I think we see him go possibly with Carrion.
Yeah,
That's what I think. People might think different, but
I
see him sneaking back in there.
I think that's the way it's going. With the dressing in black as well, I think it's kind of a telling feature.
Yeah.
Does anybody feel
my prediction?
Yep.
Doesn't happen. It looks like it's gonna. Maybe Xavier goes for it, but I reckon something. Maybe Big E, probably Big E, comes and does his Bret Hart with Owen and the Bulldog, gets in between them, and reunites the New Day for their 10th anniversary.
That's what I was going to say as well. Is there a chance we could see Big E get back involved with TV time
prediction.
and stuff like that? So yeah, we'll note that down, Adam, and we'll give you a point.
Or Big E comes down and just plants Kofi.
Yeah, and he says he's fit to wrestle again. That'll be one for the books. But Adam, I'll stick with you for the next one, and what I can describe as literally just a fight. It was classic old school wrestling, backstage brawls, security guards getting flown out their shoes, golf carts being turned over like their trucks. It was brilliant TV, wasn't it?
Yeah. Can't add much to that. It was great fun. Don't know who won, whatever, if there was a winner, however that sort of works. Just the fact that it was just batshit chaos, really good fun. And you need some of that, It's kind of up there rivaling Punk and McIntyre for the intensity. And it's been great fun. And long may it continue. I hope they keep going for another good few weeks with this. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, same as well. Especially when that rope come off, I was pretty shocked with that, to be fair.
Yeah, don't think it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I did actually think, was that meant to happen? Like,
I don't know if that was meant to happen. It was.
I'm not sure. It was good TV, though.
Oh, yeah, of course it did, yeah.
But no, that was quite good. And Tony, I'll go to you next. We had Sami Zayn was at ringside, at the ring, sorry, and then Ludwig Kaiser come down as well, didn't he? And they kind of had a discussion where you felt Sami Zayn was trying to get in Kaiser's head, wasn't he? And say you don't need Gunther anymore. But obviously it was all a work, and Gunther and Kaiser literally beat up Sami Zayn until he got the second Hulk. He hulked up basically and come back. Is it just obviously building the storyline and stuff that could you potentially see next week Zayn having a match with Kaiser? Those sort of things, just building up to their match that will eventually probably lead to at Bad Blood.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I didn't watch this segment. I fast forwarded it.
Right.
But no, I do agree with you on that. I think Sami. I think they're beating him down. I think they're going to get more heat. They'll be again. So he'll become that baby face that people want to see beat the bullies and win and so on. And they'll probably have a match with Kaiser this week, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And then obviously he'll get beat down again. He'll probably win that match by just a roll-up pin and quickly get out before Gunther can come in and attack him or something like that. But I see that happening, to be honest. But so.
Yeah, cool. And then Mr. Tom here just wait till Mania for Gunther versus Dragunov or Trips. Or I'll have Trips fired. We definitely want to see them go out again eventually. And then we had Io Sky face off against Bianca Belair. It was supposed to be Kairi Sane, but obviously due to the eye injury, Io stepped up and she got the win, which was surprising, to be fair, because Bianca and Jade have been looking very strong. This will eventually lead to another women's tag team title match, wouldn't it, George, at Bad Blood, do you feel?
Yeah, probably. Again. I think that's the way it was heading again. You said. Yeah, but I'm not going to lie, I was surprised that she actually won on Raw. I thought they would have just had Bianca win it. But then, I was surprised. But like you were saying earlier, some of it is predictable, but it's not. Some of it ain't been boring, even though it's been predictable. So, hopefully, I just want to see Bianca versus Jade.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bored of the tag team. Stop being nice. Just beat the hell out of each other. That's what we pay to see.
Just girl on girl action, George. That's what we want.
Yeah, exactly, right. What it's like.
And then for the main event, we had Damian Priest defeating Dominic Mysterio. It's a kind of like carbon copy for how the last few weeks of Raw has ended. Damien Priest getting the win, but then Judgment Day closing out the show, ending up on top. I know we spoke about this storyline. There's probably not too much to cover during this week's Raw with it, but it's just building up, isn't it? And I'll open up to anyone can answer, basically. Do you feel anybody else will be involved in this match, or is it just this is it, it's set now? They're just going to make the Judgment Day look big until eventually we get to Bad Blood when Priest and obviously Rhea will probably come out on top. Anyone? Anyone have different thoughts, or is it all just pretty much
Yeah, it's going to pretty much end that way. Yeah, I can't see it any different.
No.
Yeah. So that was your Monday Night Raw. I'll go first again. Why not? I don't think it was as good as SmackDown, so I'm going to go for the Braun Strowman thing. Probably gives it a 7 for me. Craig?
Yeah, I don't mean to copy or whatever, but I agree. I don't think it was up there with SmackDown. Yeah, I'll go with a 7 as well.
Wicked. Adam?
Yeah, I'm going to agree again. I was tempted to go over 6 again, not because 6 sounds negative, but I mean, that's above average.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I gave it higher than 6 was the Punk promo, the Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, and I quite enjoyed the New Day kind of angle there as well. I think that was interesting. So yeah, that's why I've given it a 7.
Wicked. George?
5.
5.
The only thing I liked was the Punk thing and the Strowman stuff, because it not being able to see sounds really, really funny. That all you hear is loads of smashing. It sounds like me trying to get from the coronet toilet to back to our table. So loads of banning. So, but yeah, I'm going for 5. So I'm being the negative one tonight.
That's fine. Tariq?
I'd go a 7. I was thinking 6 to start with, but the Punk promo and getting the main event Jey Uso promo, that helped, and the Kofi and Woods thing with the kickoff, I think that's pushed it to a 7.
Cool. Tony?
I'm going to go with an 8 again. I think the Punk thing was decent. I like the Sheamus Peter Dunne match. That was pretty decent as well. The Jey Uso promo, like everyone said. The Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, for 2 big men to have a feud. I mean, we're used to seeing people like that in the old days, and it was just strength. This is actually just a fight. Bianca Io Sky was decent, so yeah, for me. And the main event was good, so for me, it's an 8.
Wicked. Cool. That was your SmackDown and Raw. And next up, Tariq is going to give us a quick rundown of NXT.
Right, so NXT this week, it started with the title contract signing. Ava was in the ring and she announced that they've got 2 shows coming when they go on CW Network. First one's in Chicago on the 1st of October, and the second one's in St. Louis. And they said for the St. Louis one, Randy Orton's going to be appearing. Not just appearing, he'll be fighting for the first time inside an NXT ring. So he's fighting Javon Evans, who's the upcoming high flyer star. So that'll probably be a good match to watch if you're trying to get into.
When is that, sorry, mate?
8th of October.
Thank you.
Cool. So she invited Trick Williams and Ethan Page to come into the ring, and it was just joining each other as they normally do. Before they could sign the contract, Ethan Page gave Trick a kick and then give him his Ego's Edge, which is the Razor's Edge, onto through the table. So they couldn't get the. That's a good picture. So they couldn't get the contract signed, and that was it. Then they moved to a quick match, which was Lyra Valkyrie doing a double duty. Her and Tatum Paxley beat Wendy Chu and Rosemary, which is awful because Rosemary and Wendy Chu just keep losing on NXT and TNA. So it's what's the point? They're not scary. Then we had Tony D'Angelo he was in a backstage segment with Hammerstone saying you didn't do the job last week, so you could do it again. And Hammerstone said, no, I'm not doing it. So they had a challenge. He said, I'm going to fight you. And during the match, Obafemi showed up on the screen, which got Tony D'Angelo scared. So he left the ring and lost the match by count out. So at backstage, Tony's family asked him, why did he go away? And he gave the old Rocky 3 thing, what Rocky did after he got beat by Clubber Lang. It was the old, I'm afraid. It was proper, just like that. It was like, I'm scared of him. He's a machine. I can't beat him, which was really funny. But he got his mojo back towards the end, so he's going to fight him soon, hopefully. Then we got a promo from CM Punk. He came down. Roxanne came and sort of challenged him and said, "You're rubbish. I was a fan of yours when I was younger, but I like Drew McIntyre better. And your wife's better than you as well." That got Julia in the ring, as you can see from the picture. And she said, "You've got 2 more weeks as champ, and after that, it's over. You're not going to win it." So Punk did sort of like, he got interrupted, which was a bit of a crappy segment because it didn't really go anywhere. That was it. It was like straight to the end. And then they went back to the contract signing part 2. They said, because it's not signed, they need to get it signed. And they got some NBA star called Tyrese Halliburton or whatever he is, never heard of him, to take charge. So he's going to be there to oversee it. So he took charge. He took charge and said, right, Trick and Page come out and sign the contract. So it was just a bog standard, sign your contract and your match is on. And then before he said, that's it, it's all done. And then he gave the old, by the way, I forgot. And then he done hit the music, and then CM Punk's music hit. So he come down to the ring and he said, I'm going to be the special guest referee because the match is a special one. So I'm going to be the guest referee for it. And he said, as he's the official now, his first order of call is let them brawl with each other. You can start fighting right now. So to close the show, they were fighting each other, and it got all about 25 referees coming and trying to block it. So it went off show then. And that was the end of NXT. With NXT, though, where they're getting quite a lot of people in, I just want to get everyone's thoughts on 2 things. Getting the main event roster stars coming to NXT, is that a good thing or a bad thing for them and NXT? And with CM Punk being in Chicago, would you have preferred to see him wrestle like Randy Orton is, or just be just a referee? Cool. Just want to go around and see what you guys think.
Well, Punk I'd rather see wrestle at any point, particularly if it's NXT. I don't think he needs to come out and cut a promo there when he's cutting promos on Raw. I certainly don't see any desire to see him as a guest referee. I know he did that for Seth against Drew, whatever it was. So no, let him have a match. Have a 20, 25-minute match against one of the young guys. Put them over. I don't necessarily mean lose to them. I mean put them over, make them look good. That'd be much better for me.
Cool. And the rest of you don't really watch NXT as much, but it'd be worth, once it comes on, just have a quick watch, a couple of matches. Yeah. It's something when you get into it, it'll be quite decent.
No, sorry, go on, George.
No, I was going to say I do watch NXT. I just didn't see last week's one. I think it's I think it has its pros and cons, because I think like the exposure to having the main event people, you can see like what the gap is for them, for the ones who are in NXT to want to get to, say, the main events on Raw and SmackDown. I would like to see CM Punk fight. I would have liked to have seen Punk versus Obafemi. I think that would have been a really good match. I just like, with all the mentions of CM Punk's wife, I wish they would just bring her back. So, and maybe put her against Roxanne. I think that would be, because I'm pretty sure she said that that's like a dream match for her as well. Yeah. So, but I think it could have its cons, because people could say, oh, but it's taking time away from other NXT stuff. But I don't think it is as much, personally. Like, like you say, the double duty stuff. So yeah, I think NXT is quite good at the minute. For ages ago I stopped watching it because it went a bit like dull for me, but I think the last few weeks it's come back to being good again.
Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Tariq, for that. Brilliant.
You're welcome.
Next, we're going to go into Craig's White Six Fix.
So I know we're tight on time this week, so it'll kind of be more just letting you guys know what's going on rather than sort of asking what your opinions and stuff are. So we got another QR code on Monday night, which was a really nice surprise. With everything that's been going on, I kind of forgot about the QR codes, to be completely honest. So it was nice to finally get one. If you scanned it, it took you to a new journal entry called Frater. And it reads, "The bond of a family is a cat of nine tails. Bound through suffering, we see you, brother. When you need us, we will be there." The journal entry uses the symbol of the cat of nine tails, referencing suffering and endurance, while frater, meaning brother in Latin, emphasises a family-like bond within the group. It likely alludes to Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy and a deeper connection to Bray Wyatt's legacy, suggesting that when a member is in need, the group will rally around them. Digging into the actual Frater Journal page, when you go on it and read it, if you clicked the volume, it brings up a photo of a journal with a piece of paper next to it. I think that was the one, Jonesy. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. So it's got L1025 with 37 below the 25. People are suggesting this is a biblical reference, Luke 10:25 to 37, where someone asks Jesus, Luke 10:25 is when someone says to Jesus, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" People are suggesting this could be the start of a journey or the need for knowledge. Luke 10:37, the call to action, "Go and do likewise," refers to taking action based on that knowledge. If you click the lines at the bottom of the journal entry, it takes you to some word puzzles. The file names are "I do." This phrase could symbolise a commitment or an answer to a significant question, just as one might answer the person's question in Luke 25. And Noit, I don't know if I'm saying this right, No Itoved is basically devotion spelt backward. So both "I do" and No Itoved, whatever, involve themes of commitment and reflection. When you complete both puzzles, this is what you get. If Jonesy's got the picture, you get, "Do you know why you're afraid when you're alone?" And the other reads, "My life for you, I laid down my life for you." When you click the bin, this image is produced. It's a picture of a Bo looking at the TV, and it's titled "Words of the Red." It looks like people are saying the White Rabbit, and you can't quite make out, but there are coordinates in the bottom right. And when you go to the coordinates, it shows a place called Brothers, which is a place in America. Another link which was titled was called Arbon. If you unscramble it, it spells brawn. Frater means brother. Could it only be a matter of time before the White Six tried to bring him in? I wanted to show, just talk about this image quickly. So it's the one that says "whispers like 1,000 voices" on a blue background. It's written across, the word "whispers" repeated in columns behind the text. Could this be referencing us fans discussing the Pluto symbols that we've seen recently on SmackDown? It says, could it be linked to SmackDown because it's blue, like SmackDown's colours? Could we potentially see them appearing on SmackDown? It says, while we usually associate them with Raw, could this tweet be hinting at their potential move or targets on SmackDown, as they seem to be sort of lurking in the shadows? Then we've got this image, which reads, "Guiding the knife until our hands are one in the same." People are suggesting that the blurred image behind the writing is the black sheep mask, which could link with Braun and the whole brother-related theme. I personally can't really make it out that well. Some people are saying that they've seen it in there. And then a couple of hours ago, we got a tweet from the White Six page, which was this, and it says, "What we see is determined by what we look for." People are suggesting that this might be the Fiend's new mask. I think it's clear to see that that is probably Bo. But people are suggesting that he could be introducing, when he talks about this brother thing, could it be that the Fiend is this brother that they're talking about? Could it be that Braun ends up being this new Fiend character? Or again, it's going back to, could it potentially be Alexa and she's coming back? But I think a lot of people are trying to debunk that one because it seems to be focused on brother, and the Braun links are just a bit too strong. So yeah, I'd love to get everyone's opinions on it, but obviously I know we're caught for time, so maybe we can just try and catch up on that next week. But yeah, that concludes this week's fix.
No, cheers for that, mate. Yeah, and I appreciate the time is not great at the moment, but there's a lot to discuss, but we can bring that back into next week's show. No problem at all. There's a lot there to discuss, and we'll go through that. And Tony's going to give us a quick rundown of our news headlines.
Evening, everyone. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet because, again, I know we're short for time. So it doesn't. Every week now we're getting new clip hits and new information about Netflix. Obviously, the deal that starts in January next year. It seems that the running times for Raw will be flexible each week. So obviously, because it's not got a show after it, they're saying that the times for Raw could possibly be an hour and 55 minutes. It could be 2 hours and 10 minutes. So it takes away the element of, we know when the main event's going to end, so we know it's going to happen here. So that could be something good for us to keep an eye on. Next, we touched on it roughly, but obviously the new entrance theme for SmackDown is called Never Play by Megan Thee Stallion, featuring RM from BTS. I mean, it fits well with the actual, hearing the song on its own doesn't really do much, but when you stick WWE do a compliment video next to it, it is always pretty decent. So again, whether that stays or not for the foreseeable future, like someone said earlier, it weren't rocky enough. They like their rock music, but again, I think it's going to tie into the fact that WWE will use music from mainstream artists a lot more. While we're talking about musics, at the moment, musics are done, a lot of them are done by Death Rebels. Their contract runs out this year. I'm not sure when it is, but it runs out soon. So look forward in the future for again to be using a lot of mainstream artists for their songs. So again, that'll be pretty decent. We won't spend 25 grand on the final countdown like Tony Khan did. Mental, absolutely mental. Just a little bit of news from outside WWE. TNA Victory Road. So this marks their 4 last PLEs have sold out this year. So that's pretty decent for TNA. They were struggling before, so obviously the linking deal with WWE and crossover superstars and things like that seems to be working really well for them. So yeah, that's good news. And then last on the news is WWE have announced that they're decreasing the live shows significantly in 2025. It was announced that they're going to cut down, because Vince McMahon did loads of house shows to try and get more revenue and to get more money, obviously. They've said that they're going to cut it down from 300 last year to 250 next year to 200 the year after. So they're looking to cut it down because why WWE is so hot. They said that they don't need all these house shows because they're doing they're making money from merchandising and live events when they go around Europe, so they don't really need these live shows anymore. So again, if I get any more updates, I'll update you all next week or the week after if I get anything else. But yeah, that's my news for today.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate. We're going to go into On This Day in WWE History now. All yours, George.
Cool, thank you. So, on this day in WWE history, we had Unforgiven 2005. This was the first time that Ric Flair actually beat Carlito for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. So that was quite good. This one was interesting because when I sent it to Jonezy, I did not have a clue who it was, but we'll work with that. So Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch beat Rosie and the Hurricane for the WWE Tag Team Championship. I don't remember who Cade and Murdoch were really, but yeah. So that was that, and I think there was a couple of other matches, wasn't there, Jonesy?
Yeah, there was a few other matches. We had Kurt Angle versus John Cena for the title. Pretty good event, to be fair. It was a Raw pay-per-view as well, back in the day when they did PLEs for just the branded shows, which was interesting.
Just a bit. Yeah.
It took me a while to remember who Caden Murdoch was as well, mate, so don't worry.
I nearly said Rupert Murdoch when I was that wasn't him. So yeah, that's what happened on this day.
Thanks for that, George. A nice blast from the past there.
Thank you.
And just before we end the show, we have our predictions title, and currently we have two people who are on the same point. So the way we do it on this channel is we have a playoff sort of question, and the closest to it or spot on keeps the belt. So I've got the question here, and George, as the challenger, you get to answer first. Okay, and Craig, if you write your answer down.
Oh, shit.
Is that all right? And if you can show the screen so there's no tomfoolery happening in the background.
Do I have to write it down, or can I just
say
it?
You can just say it.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to use my phone. I'm not on the internet or nothing. I'm just using the notes app.
That's fine.
I trust you, Craig. You're fine.
No one knows the question but me anyway, so. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
How many days was Gunther Intercontinental Champion for?
I'm going to go for 272.
272. Craig?
I think two gentlemen are going to be very upset because it means I retain, because I know the answer to this question.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know it because it is a reference to the devil. It was...
Six.
Six.
It was indeed. I did try to make it easy. That is an easier number to remember. When you started off with 2, I was like, no.
Can I also just say before we go, that means that I will now break the longest title reign, currently at 36 days, which I've equaled today. So there will be plenty of Photoshop pictures tomorrow in the group.
George, you had it in your hands. Unlucky, mate.
To be fair, though, I'd rather beat him cleanly than just on a one-off question.
Fair play, mate. Fair play.
Fair play. But yeah, the titles will be obviously on the line again for our next PLE, which is the 5th of October, I believe. Bad Blood. So join us there.
That's at 11 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, 11 o'clock. So we'll do a watch along for that. So anybody who wants to join us,
watch everyone leave the group tonight. Just
But no, guys, I just want to say thank you. I know tonight one's had to be a short one due to other shows happening as well on the channel. Mr. Tom, I know you had questions about Saturday night main event. I'm sure we'll cover that next week when we got a bit more time. We'll also talk about the fact that Cody Rhodes hasn't got the title, win the poster for it, which is proving quite a big talking point on Twitter at the moment, or X as it's called nowadays. But all that's left for me to do now is thank my panel. So, Tony, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
That's always a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for the new segment as always, mate, as well.
Thank you. Yep, no problem.
And Tariq, well done, mate, with the NXT stuff. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, and look forward to commenting on the next show.
It was indeed. And George, thank you very much. Well done for your segment, mate.
All right, cheers. Thank you for that.
And unlucky on trying to take the title off that shit.
No, it's fine. There's plenty of other opportunities. I'll just do it when he least expects it.
Definitely.
Okay,
and Adam, thank you very much as always for coming on, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me. Cheers, everybody.
And Craig, thank you very much as well. I believe we'll see your face again in the next few minutes.
You will. I'm jumping on with you on something. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Stay tuned, guys. Someone might be on the hook. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But no,
he deserves it.
Thank you guys for your...
I'm going to get rattled, aren't I?
You are.
Thank you for your comments, your interaction, everything. Keep supporting the channel. We really do appreciate it. And good night.